Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Here's Shimrit Nativ, founder and creator of Master Your Path community and programs. I'm here for the weekly live training. Every Monday around this time, I go live and I share with you some insight, advice, tips, inspiring ideas, and a lot of love and energy. And I'm so excited to be here today after a whole week of not being here live since the last Monday. So if you're joining me and I see some likes coming in, please say hello in the comments so I can know that you're here, because I'm using StreamYard. And only when you comment, I can see your name and I know that you're here with me, and I would love to know that you're here with me. Hello, Sandra. So good to have you. So good to see you here. I'm so excited to be here. I love this setting of the live streaming. We had that in the workshop last month in December, and we will be having our next workshop coming up in February, and you will hear all about that once everything is settled and booked and ready to go. So I'm excited to give you a little bit of a heads up here now that sometime in February we will have our next free workshop in the Master Your Path group. If you're watching this in the group, please say hello. Tell me that you're here. I'm so happy to connect with you. And if you're not yet part of the group, please join us. Thank you so much. I don't know who left this beautiful comment, premium stuff. Thank you so much. Please say hello. You can let StreamYard show me your name. You're probably commenting here in the group, or you can just let me know who you are. I'm so excited to have you join me here today on this first Monday of 2021. Oh my God, this is actually a celebration, guys. This is the first Monday, the first proper week in this new year 2021, and I am so hopeful for this week. But I meant to say for this year, and not really hopeful, but more knowing. I have this very strong sense of knowing that this year will be a good year, that this year will be a harvest of many seeds that have been planted during 2020, which was challenging and tough, and we're still in that transition, we're still in that tunnel, but I have this very strong sense of knowing that in this new year that is starting these days, 2021, we will be harvesting the fruits of the seeds that have been planted and the inner work that so many have been doing. I know that from my point of view as a community leader, as a coach, and also in my own life, my own personal life, so much inner work have been done in so many people so many people have invested themselves in that inner journey. And I've been talking about that in my New Year post, how life to me, is the inner journey. That's the real essence of life. And I think that this year with a pandemic and everything that's been going on, many people, and I think this is the real kind of gift or opportunity or gate that has been, that we are facing and opening during this, the last events globally in the last year, that really the keys to resilience, the keys to happiness, the keys to inner being, the keys to hope, to faith, to happiness, to love over fear and all the negative aspects of what can be a human experience. The keys to the resilience, to the well-being are within, not so. If we're taking away our ability to meet our loved ones or do our daily activities or fly around the world or anything like that, we can really find, we have nowhere else to look but within to find those keys, to find answers, to find our well-being. And actually that's the only real place or the only real direction that we can find that in normal times as well. And this is what I mean when I say that these are the gifts of, as I see it, in the last events in the last year. And I think that this year, 2021, we will be ripening the fruits of that inner work and transformations and transitions. Hello, JL from Atlanta. So happy to have you here. Thank you so much, Sandra, recommending the program Life Changing. Absolutely. And we heard Sandra's amazing story and how you overcame anxiety during the last workshop. So thank you so much for being here, Sandra. I love you and appreciate you so much. Okay, so in this live training today, I want to talk about dreams, and I will be talking about that during this week. And I think what inspired me maybe to talk about dreams, first of all, I didn't have the chance to include that in the workshop because it's kind of a whole different section, but not necessarily though, because it is very much related to the work that I offer to my teaching and to the work that we do in the Master Your Path program. Absolutely. And I think what inspired me to talk about dream work this week is, so as I said, first, I didn't have a chance to include it in the workshop that we had in December. And second is because of our last group session in the program, in the Master Your Path program, we have weekly group sessions. And in the last session, one of the members of the program shared his dream. And it was such a powerful dream and so fitting actually, to A, the inner journey that I'm talking about, and B, to this kind of transition that we are all in globally and also individually, as I was speaking, following what I was saying before, yes? So the experience of doing this dream work together in the group, in the small group that we work in on our weekly calls in the program, was so inspiring and so mind-opening and eye-opening and heart-opening. And I wanted to bring some of that to my community, to my broader community, and share that here today and during this week on different posts that I'm going to be posting daily, as I always do. So there will be some focus this week on dream work. And first I want to say that one of my, not one, maybe my biggest, or one of my biggest inspirations and resources in dream work and around dream work is the great, wonderful Robert Moss, who is a dream master. And I highly recommend looking him up, reading his books. He's a best-selling author of many books, and he is a master in his field, working with dreams, with consciousness, with subconsciousness, shamanism, and all that good stuff. So Robert Moss, highly recommend you to look him up. And he is my personal teacher. So I've had the honor and privilege to be learning with Robert several times and doing some of his Dream Teachers trainings. And I use that very often in my own personal inner journey and in my work with clients. Excuse me. And he's definitely one of the greatest inspirations and resources for me. So a lot of what I'll be talking about today and this week is drawn from Robert, and I wanted to share that and and refer to the original, right? Well, first of all, I think it is very related to the time that we're in right now, the beginning of this new year, opening it the first proper week, the first Monday of 2021. And this time of year for many is a time of setting intentions, doing New Year resolutions, choosing a focus, choosing a path, or the next level of your path, and so on. And definitely for me, this is what I'm doing during these days in my journaling, in my meditation, in my conversations, and in my dream work. And one way you can do that around this time of the year or any time around any subject is setting intentions in your dreams or before entering your dream realm, which is before you go to bed, right? So you can set an intention by meditating and speaking it in your heart or out loud before you go to bed. You can write it down, which is something that I love doing to have it even more focused. I write down my intention or my question on a little piece of paper, and even you can even tuck it under your pillow, and really have that thought in mind before drifting into sleep. And then, of course, whatever you dream might not seem related to the intention or the question that you've set forth before going to sleep and entering your dream space. But sometimes you might be surprised how eventually you can find it to be so related and so full of information that links back to your initial intention or question. So I wouldn't hurry up to, dismiss the dream or the information that you've managed to collect from the dream and bring into your waking reality or waking consciousness so quickly. Okay, so let's step out of this specific way of setting intention in dreams or questions, and talk about collecting the data from the dream, right? Bringing information from the dream consciousness to this waking consciousness. Even if you're not a person that dreams, right? Some people say, I don't dream, I never dream, or I rarely dream. Well, that's not true. We all dream. This is part of our sleep cycle. It might be, though, that you don't remember your dreams at all. And even if you don't, that's okay, okay? This is a skill. So you hear me say so much, this is a skill, this is a skill when I talk about well-being, overcoming anxiety, choosing your energy, your feeling, your emotion, your life experience, creating your reality. This is all a skill. And also specifically, dream work is a skill. So even if you don't remember your dreams at all, you can develop that skill. It's a matter of practice like anything else, right? So if you really don't remember any dreams, you can, leave next to your bed a journal and a pen or your phone that you can record with. But here I highly recommend, leaving your phone. If you're using your phone to record your dreams, then please leave it on flight mode, because if you take your phone first thing when you open your eyes and you see all the notifications or whatever is waiting for you on that screen, then you'll forget your dream altogether. So I even actually at one point bought just a simple audio recorder, right? Like a recorder. So I don't need to use my phone at all to record my dreams. So I'm not distracted at all by this device, right? Which is the last thing you really want to grab onto when you wake up in the morning. So either writing it down or recording it, preferably not using your phone. And just once you wake up, the first moment you can kind of get yourself to take that action without moving too much. So it has to be very, very close and in hand next to your bed. Just write down or record the slightest piece of information that you can. It can be a color, it can be a word, it can be a mood, it can be something very vague, it can be a location, a person, anything. The slightest and most vague piece of information is precious and is very, and you will see that as you do that quite quickly, you will start getting much more information. You will be building a bridge between your dream consciousness and your waking consciousness, and it will become more and more easier and easier for you to collect data and bring it into the waking reality. Now, if you're a very vivid dreamer and that's irrelevant for you and you remember so many details, then that's great. And then of course you want to, again, write it down right when you wake up or record it, right? So this is the first thing you want to do. And then if you've set an intention, as I mentioned before, writing down an intention or a question or focusing on one before going to bed, Don't, when you record or journal your dream, don't at all deal with the question, oh, is this relating to my intention or my question? Don't, evaluate that at all, and don't decide based on that evaluation, if you're going to record or journal the dream or not, right? You want to record the dream anyway. You're going to go back and evaluate or explore the relation between your initial intention or question and what you've been able to collect from the dream and bring into waking reality and waking consciousness. You will do that later when you work with the dream, and I will get to that in a moment, okay? But first, you just want to record the dream data as detailed as you can, right? Now, you also want to remember the feeling you've had when you woken up, okay? So as you record the dream or record it in writing, also note how you feel when waking up. It can be neutral. That's okay too. Sometimes we just wake up neutral. So just write that down so you remember that was your feeling when waking up. And if it was, of course, very happy or relaxed or excited or frightened or disgusted or anxious or eager or curious, whatever that was, you want that piece of information as well, because this can give a lot of insight. Sometimes it can be very surprising how much insight it can sometimes give you when you're working with a dream, how you felt when waking up, which sometimes is different than how you felt or the mood that was going on there in the dream itself. Sometimes it's the same and sometimes it's different, right? So this is the recording of the dream, just recording or journaling the data from the dream and how you felt when waking up. Now back to the intention setting or the question setting. Again, you do that before you go to bed. Now, I highly recommend, if you don't feel, after you've recorded a dream and later on that day did some work with the dream, as I will be talking about in a moment, if you don't feel that you've received the answers that you were looking for, set that intention again or that question again the next night, right? So again, these things are practice, just like any other practice. So practice means repetition, right? There's no practice if there's no repetition. So do it again and again. Don't despair. Don't set yourself back because it's not working. And there's not such thing as not working either, right? There's no right or wrong answers. There's no right or wrong way with these kinds of practices, right? So that's another small recommendation here, to repeat, okay? Now, when you want to, later that day, preferably, you want to do some work with a dream, you want to explore it, you want to see what are the real gifts or fruits that you've received. Because when you just wake up, you record the dream, and you're still hopefully in that dream state or in between the dream state and the waking state. So you just want to get the information, but you're not yet in that fully conscious state to explore the information and make connections and ask questions and reach conclusions and so on. So this you do later, but preferably in the same day when everything is still fresh, but not necessarily, because sometimes you can do amazing dream work with dreams even from years ago. But maybe for this specific purpose, working with an intention or a question, you do want to come back to that maybe in the same day or the next day or something like that, right? And so you take the recording, right? The information that you have from your dream, you know how you felt when you woke up. And the next thing you want to do is give a title to that dream. What title would you give to your dream, as if it was a story or an episode or a movie, yeah, or something like that? And then think of any relevant background from your own personal life, from other dreams, from things that you've heard about, from human culture, human history, whatever background information that you are aware of, that is part of your consciousness or life or memories. that might be relevant to that dream. Yeah, maybe the location, a color, a word, a language, a certain character, anything. It can be so many, the title of a movie, a song that was playing. It can be, there's endless examples for this. So I don't want to kind of limit it to anything specific, because it can really be anything, but anything that seems relevant on whatever level or strength of relevance you want to take some time to think about that, to come up with anything like that, if there is anything. Sometimes there isn't, but most times there is. And of course, write everything down. So this is work that you want to do. And if you do it by yourself, then definitely you want to journal. This work dream in general is amazing to do in a group, or at least with another person. And so this is something that you do in a conversation with them. And then you really want to think about, what do you want to know about the dream? And if we're talking about setting intentions or asking questions, setting questions to the dream, then this should relate to that, right? What you want to know about the dream is most probably related to that intention or questions that you've set initially. And then you want to, usually at this point, there will be a lot of information and insight, or maybe not a lot, but some information or insight that will be, starting to come up as you do this process and ask these questions and answer them, right? And this is where you want to, if this is a conversation, then your partner or other group people that are doing this with you in a group will be sharing their insights or ideas or whatever are coming up for them. And they can say it as if this was their dream, and then anything can be included there. So sometimes, this might remind them of something of their own dream or their own life, or something that happened to them, and this can have some value to you if it somehow relates to your dream. So anything can happen when you work with dreams. There can be many surprises in how things can relate, can give insight, can link together. So please really give space and room and be open to that. And then always you want to make some kind of an action plan, so you can really harness and harvest the fruits of the dream. So this action plan can be research about something that came up in the dream, maybe a word in a foreign language, or a specific subject or topic or animal or location or anything like that. That can be an action plan, for example. And please don't limit yourself to the few examples that I'm sharing now here, because it's really endless. It can be a drawing that you can make. I love making dream drawings when it's very vivid, and draw kind of an image or a snapshot of the dream, or a few. It can be anything, going somewhere, talking to a specific person, dancing, listening to a specific song. These are just a few examples. It's really endless. It can be even just writing down, like a bumper sticker or a note or an affirmation or something that will remind you of the message that you got from your dream. So the action plans, there are just endless things that you can do, and endless amount of things that you can do, but you do want to do that. This is very important. Otherwise, this bridge that we were talking about, that you're building between your dream reality or consciousness and this waking reality and consciousness, this bridge is not complete if you don't take action. And that action can be very small, but you do want to plan an action and then actually do it, so you can really come full circle with this process and really pick that fruit of the dream that the dream brought to you and the work that you've done with it. And this is such powerful work. I can tell you that some of my biggest decisions, life-changing decisions, or things that I've overcame or worked with in my own personal journey, the dreams were, and this work with dreams was crucial and fundamental to the stepping stones in my own journey, and definitely with my clients. So even if you're not familiar, and even if you're a little bit doubtful, that's okay. I can understand that, and that's absolutely okay. But I encourage you to try that out. And repetition here is very important, especially if you're not, if this is not something that you usually do, or if you're not usually remember your dreams, do anything with them. So give it some time, repeat it. Okay, so if you have any questions, I know some people are watching here with me live. If you have any questions on what I'm sharing here today, please drop them in the comments so I can even reply to you right now as we are live. And if you're watching this replay, then you can still comment below. Let me know that you've watched the replay. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will definitely come back and read your comments and answer any questions that you may have. Again, if you're not yet part of my group, Calm and Confident Professionals, Overcoming Anxiety, Insecurities, and Emotional Pain, the Master Your Path private Facebook group, you are more than welcome to join us. I will share the link to the group right here in the comments right now. And we would love to have you join our community. And if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can know about future live videos or new uploads on my channel. And I see a question here coming. What does it mean if we can never recall our dreams? So some people don't ever remember their dreams. They just wake up blank, no recollection, no memory, as if they've never dreamt. And they did. Everybody dream every night. We just might not remember the dreams. So I hope I'm answering your question, Sandra. Let me know if I am or am not. But this is what I meant when I said never recall our dreams. So if you don't, even if you've never, or if you feel like you've never remembered any dreams, then you can. It's never too late to start, and it is a matter of practice. And if you were on my workshop in last December, you heard me talk about practice, and the key factors to a good practice is, of course, repetition, and also patience. So it takes some time, and even if you wake up in the morning and you have nothing to write down on that journal that you left for yourself, or the order, that's okay. It can be the slightest thing, and the next day you'll have some more and more and more. So keep up with that. And sometimes the slightest piece of information can give you the insight or the guidance or the answers that you are looking for, waiting for, and asking for, especially if you've set an intention or a question prior to going to sleep. And so again, don't try to evaluate if there is some kind of connection. If you've got anything to your intention or question, just record whatever information you can right when waking up, and then come back to that later and do that work with that information, even if it's really, really just a small piece of information. Sometimes it can be very valuable and useful. Awesome, Sandra. I'm happy that I've answered your questions. If you have any more questions, please drop them in the comments. You can always reach to me on a private message. I love connecting with you guys in private messages, answering questions, and deepening our relationship and getting to know you better, and offer whatever support and help and guidance that I can. So please reach out to me either in the comments or in private messages, and I would love to answer any questions and offer any more resources, answers, guidance, and support. That's it for today. I will see you next Monday. Have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful start to an amazing new year, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.